Do these terms and conditions that we sign up for even apply?
They do. I think if they didn't apply, I think the web would topple over. And so to the extent there have been contract decisions, they've held that these terms and conditions are valid.
And this concept is pretty new. For instance, you never had to sign a user agreement for an old-fashioned landline, or to watch TV, or to read a book. But if you use a smartphone, a Kindle, or you watch Hulu, then you do. In 2009, GameStation, a company in the UK, put some pretty sneaky stuff in their terms. They didn't take money or your firstborn child, but for one day, their terms stated, by placing an order via this website, you agree to grant us a non-transferable option to claim, now and forevermore, your immortal soul. The contract was only live for a day, but GameStation happened to rake in the lives of 7,000 immortal souls. This was, of course, a joke. However, it makes you wonder, what if there were more serious consequences that might result from not reading terms and conditions? In 1994, Pizza Hut became the first major chain to accept a delivery online. Suddenly, the internet needed a way to remember who you were, where you lived, and how you were going to pay.
My question is, what the hell?
Like, how do they know who you are?
Yeah.
Okay, there are these things called cookies, where, like, if you go to a site and buy something, it'll remember you and then create ads for other stuff you might want to buy.
So it learns information about me? Seems like an invasion of privacy.
It wasn't until the late 90s that companies began voluntarily adding privacy policies to explain what was happening with this data. What if privacy policies weren't about protecting privacy at all, but rather taking it away? Let's take a look at Google's privacy policy around this time to see if any changes were made. So here's Google's privacy policy from December of 2000. Google may also choose to use cookies to store user preferences. A cookie can tell us this is the same computer that visited Google 2 days ago, but it cannot tell us this person is Joe Smith, or even this person lives in the United States. And here's the privacy policy from 1 year later, in December of 2001. Google does this by storing user preferences in cookies and by tracking user trends and patterns of how people search. Google will not disclose cookies to third parties, except as required by a valid legal process, such as a search warrant, subpoena, statute, or a court order. Now, it's important to note the fundamental difference between these two policies. One says that you're totally anonymous. The other says, when necessary, you're not.